Is this charging or not charging? Because I have it plugged in.
Yeah, it's got the little
plug thing.
plug
I
icon.
don't have the icon.
Yeah, you're good. And the light is on.
Cool.
So.
It was not doing its little.
Is this light? Yeah, the light is on if it's charging. So
Okay, cool.
you're good.
All right.
Awesome.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. Welcome back to Jeff and Jace. We can't not giggle at that, can we?
I mean, some of us can.
Bummer deal, Jeff. Still not here.
Nope.
I'm trying to sound sad every time. Nathan's filling in again, as per usual. Not surprised there. Madison, you're on this time. Thanks for seeing me again.
Yep.
Smooth
Yeah.
on move there, boss.
I once caught a fish this big.
All right.
Welcome back to the PDA cast.
We're going to shut this one down now.
Thanks for watching.
Nathan's on tech, killing it.
That's
No,
awesome.
he's
That's
not.
awesome.
You know,
What?
You just said Nathan's on tech.
Austin's on tech.
Thank
you
you.
go.
He has a
I'm
name.
sorry, everybody. I don't know what I'm doing on this show.
It's all right. Hey, we all have those days. I did that a couple episodes
Yeah,
ago.
I think it's the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, some weird song playing on my Spotify at home.
Is it? Okay. I think I know which one.
It's actually not butts.
But we're not here to talk about butts today.
Anyway,
We're
you're
here
right.
to talk about weird dreams. That was the topic
Weird
I had written on our little Google
dreams.
sticky note like 6 months ago. Not really. We haven't been shooting for 6 months, but
Yeah.
but it hasn't. I mean, we kind of tossed around the idea about talking about it, but none of us had like any super good stories. I had
Super.
one or two that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
But then Madison has done a bunch of research for us in weird dreams. So
Yeah.
maybe let's do this. If we want to start by going around and everyone share like one weird dream they've had, if you have one.
Okay.
And then once we're done with that, Madison, if you want to talk a little bit about the neuroscience or neurology of
We're
it.
going to talk about the theory of why we dream.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about what happens in our brains when we dream. In
Okay.
a very abbreviated sense. I'm going to
Sure.
give you
I'll give you how
bare
much time
bones.
you have left
Perfect.
once we're done
Cool.
talking about them. So,
Okay.
Austin, start us off, my good
Yes.
man. Weird dream you've had.
weird dream. I would say the weirdest dream is a dream that I had a while back.
I had a dream.
Once. So I mean, the content of the dream was not so weird. I was doing some electrical work in the hospital on their breaker panel and was not supposed to be there apparently because I was hiding from people and yanking cables out and all this good stuff.
Dude, so are you doing work on the breaker panel or sabotaging it?
I'm not sure what my intent was at that point. So this is what I was doing. I then with my dad. So
makes sense.
I was doing it with him. I then went from the hospital downtown to Dock and Nelson and went in the building there. That was the extent of the dream.
Okay.
Summarized.
So you went from sabotaging a hospital to visiting a funeral home.
Exactly.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, very summarized, but
That
I was
is
doing
weird,
more
I will
stuff,
say.
And it's the normal like dream where you're here and then you're there and kind of bounce around and stuff.
Yeah.
I wake up. I say, Colin, I dreamt this dream. He was like, dude, that's like almost what I dreamt.
Oh.
He was like, I was in a house and I wasn't supposed to be there. I was sneaking around and I was doing electrical work with my dad.
What?
Wait, with your dad?
Yes, with my dad. So same person. He's like, I was doing electrical work. There was like an outlet cover off over there, and I was working on this switch with a low voltage side box too. I mean, he had like way too many details. And he's like, and then we went downtown to Dock and Nelson.
What? Wait a second.
Yes,
You didn't.
totally.
Oh.
So are you
He
sure?
didn't go in the building when he got to Dock, and so that's a little difference there. He drove to it, and that was the end of it there.
Was Leonardo DiCaprio there perchance? Suggesting things to you about what to do with your estate?
I know, right?
Did you start turning
somehow,
sideways?
for both of these inceptions, he needed your dad there as well.
Yeah, I know.
That is fascinating.
That is
the
weird.
weirdest thing that has ever happened.
So you both-
that's
we were
fun,
like,
weird
these
dream
are
thing.
electrical work with my dad, both in suspicious circumstances, and then going to the same location afterwards, and that was very confusing.
On the
That is
same night.
weird.
Yes, the same night.
That's super weird.
Yeah,
Okay, so what did you both do that day?
I can't remember.
But did you do the same thing together?
I don't believe so.
Do you
Oh.
frequently work with your dad?
No,
Does
Okay,
he?
that's weird.
What?
Does he?
No, neither of us. I mean, I'll do some, but
Do you
Colin-
frequently visit that store?
What, Doc and Nelson? It's not a store, it's a funeral home.
Oh, never mind.
I
hope
do.
you don't.
I don't know if Colin ever has. I do tech work there.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
But
It's gonna
I
seem
don't
like
think
we went
Colin
there
ever
so
has.
often.
Yeah.
It's a cool place to hang out.
exactly.
The people listen. Okay, that's
that
really,
note-
really bizarre.
That is
Yes.
super weird.
Huh.
So that's been the weirdest experience. I
Okay,
think, of,
that
of
might be
dreams.
That's
number one,
That's top weird.
to be honest.
That's fun.
Or like the where you dream something and then like 6 months later you're doing something IRL and you're like, whoa, this is just like that dream.
It's like a deja vu, but like
Yeah.
But the
dream
other way,
job vu.
yeah. Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
that
Stuck
made
the
sense.
landing. All right, Josh.
Wow, I
Can top that,
actually,
Josh.
I can't top that, to tell you the truth, because as soon as you brought this up as a topic, I was like, dang it, I don't remember my dreams because
Oh,
Do you
I'm
never
not-
remember them, or do
Well,
you have them? Like,
no,
do you not have them?
So here's what I think. I'm convinced that part of remembering dreams is sharing dreams right away, and if you
Oh.
don't, you forget it.
This
Okay.
is true.
okay.
And so I don't share my dreams because I don't talk to people in the morning.
Sure.
So it's not because I don't want people to know my dreams. I mean, there's some dreams it's like, I'm sure that was weird enough that I don't want to share that with someone.
Sure.
But so I just don't remember a whole lot of dreams. I think,
Weird question. Do you
Yeah.
still have your tonsils?
yes.
Okay.
Why?
Sometimes that makes a difference.
Really?
Like when my sister got her tonsils taken out, she stopped dreaming,
Oh, that's
and
weird.
the doctor told her that might happen.
Oh. That's so strange.
But you still have them.
I still have tonsils.
Okay, but you just-
I do have dreams, and often I'll wake up like, that was so weird. And then try to think about it, and I forget it.
it just sort of dissolves while
right.
you think. It's like
Exactly.
you're thinking it to death.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It really is. Because
I hope you
like,
cover this, Madison, why that happens.
I do.
Oh, good. Okay. Cool.
Because literally this summer, I had just the weirdest dream I remember having in such a long time. And now I'm like, I don't know what it was. And I'm really bummed because it was super weird. Like I was just like, I woke up and I literally verbally said, that was weird. And there's no one in the room, no one else. And it was just like, just to myself out loud. I was like, that was weird. But I don't remember it. So I would just have to go back to kind of it was more just a nightmare.
Okay.
So I'll just have that to share because I remember
Sure.
it super clearly still was, because I shared it immediately.
Re-traumatize you
Yeah.
by bringing this
Well,
up.
I mean, I'm not traumatized by it anymore because it was partly caused by an animated movie. So not that scary.
Okay, now I really want to hear it. What is
okay,
it?
so did you guys ever see the Black Cauldron when you were little kids?
No,
Oh.
I've never heard of it.
Yes.
Okay, you
I've
have
seen
seen it.
parts of
Okay.
it. Uh huh.
So
my
it's-
mom wouldn't let me watch it because
Yeah.
she thought it would scare me.
Ooh, it's scary.
She was right.
Obviously, I had nightmares. I don't remember what the whole point is. There's just this evil guy with a black cauldron.
There's a kid
Like
who's
cauldron,
trying to
you're talking
steal
about
it
like
back, right?
washing
Yes.
your lettuce in it. Oh no,
No, like a magic
That's a
pot.
no,
colander.
it's a
Colander, yeah. A big old, like a cauldron what you put like
Got it.
stuff in for
Yeah,
weird
that's a lot more evil.
magical
yeah,
potions.
like witch's cauldron.
Yeah.
I'm imagining him
Okay.
aggressively washing his salad. Austin, your mic's about to pop out. But okay.
The black
So the
colander.
black cauldron is like this super, I don't know. Apparently there's something significant about it in evil magic, and this guy with this giant skull mask wants to get it, and this boy has to stop him. But just the evil figure, like he didn't ever have I never saw his face, but he had this skull on his head and these horns popping out and this giant like purplish black robe and just a very scary looking dude, like reddish eyes. And I had a nightmare about him, and I think it kind of woke me up, but I was still kind of sleeping. But I'm freaked out, and I'm downstairs in my house, and I'm like 5, so I'm like, Mom and Dad are gonna solve this. But at the time, I'm still like kind of dreaming. So I step out of my bedroom, and there, in the kind of rec room downstairs, is the evil guy from Black Cauldron.
Oh no!
Just standing in my house. And I'm like, I like just in my mind, I'm just seeing this crystal clear is this evil guy from the Black Cauldron just standing and looking at me from the rec room as I'm stepping out of my bedroom, and my parents were upstairs. So I like sprinted so fast upstairs. I'm pretty sure I probably cried because it was so frightening to see. Like I had a nightmare about this guy. He was in a movie, and then all of a sudden he's in my house. I'm like, no.
Oh, dude.
And so that's the most memorable weird dream thing nightmare for me.
Wow.
It ended there when I crawled in my mom and dad's bedroom, and they said it's fine, and I fell asleep on their bed because they make everything safe. So
So
Yeah.
okay, but I was expecting you to say that you waking up and seeing this thing was like part of another dream.
Oh, it
like you
wasn't.
dreamt
No.
you had gotten up and seen him.
yeah.
So you imagined him, or it was
Yeah, like, I
a
think I was
cardboard
still-
cutout from the theater.
No, I was just tired enough that I like imagined him, but
Okay.
I'm like
Dude.
pretty
There's a
darn convinced that he was
technical
there.
phrase for that.
Ooh.
And I don't know how to pronounce it, Nathan. Remember
Oh, this
we
is the
were
one you
looking
told me
it
to
up?
pronounce in the
Yeah.
coffee shop, and I made a fool of myself.
Put
it up on the screen, Nathan.
Anogneurognosis, I want to say. Anogneurognosis. It is when you are awake, but you can't actually tell if you're dreaming or awake. So there's a technical term.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to just you. It's
Okay.
really rare, and it's usually associated with psychotic issues.
Ooh.
But it does happen.
I think we
There you go.
diagnosed that like 6 episodes ago, though. So
That I'm psychotic.
there's so many things to be afraid of in this world, Madison.
Yeah.
And now there's one more.
Yeah.
Now there's one more.
That's
Me.
weird.
So anyway,
I'm
I
afraid of
thought,
Josh.
thought I'd let you know that
There you go.
not unheard
So
of.
yeah, that was my
But
weirdest
scary.
dream.
Still scary.
Yeah, it was a frightening one.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
No, I didn't.
I
like
haven't.
that
I
show.
literally actually haven't seen the Black Cauldron since we saw it that one time because of that nightmare. I think
wouldn't.
now I'd watch it fine, but I'm just like,
So like,
No.
am I hearing like a really great prank would be to dress up as that guy and stand by your bed?
I think it's just you standing by my bed. Period would be a good enough prank. So yeah, that would really freak me the heck out.
Sweet.
All
And
right.
then make sure
I
the
like
door is
it.
locked every night.
I'll talk to Jack and Scott. See what we
Scott
can
would
work
do it.
out.
Scott would let them.
Jack would sit on his shoulders.
Yeah,
So he's taller.
they'd be all about it. Those guys
Yeah.
are mean. So
So I have a weird dream pretty much every night. Like when
It's true.
when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, Nathan, you won't believe what happened last night.
You're right. I won't.
Yeah. And then I proceed to tell him a weird dream. But thinking over this, like, I'm going to be honest, I think most of my weirdest dreams that were less like reality based were when I was a child. And a lot of them were actually nightmares. So I think like the most vivid weird dream was just really kind of I've got a couple of them, but the one that comes to mind, I was in a Mayan temple with my friends, and
That
we
sounds
got
like fun.
through all of the booby traps and then found the Aztec gold, opened the lid, and then a giant rock monster came alive and tried to smash us all. And he started
no.
smashing through the walls of the temple, so it all started crumbling. And we had to run out of there before we got the Aztec gold.
I think
And
I've
then
seen
I
this
woke up.
episode of Doctor Who.
But that was probably like my most exciting, I would say original
That's awesome.
dream.
it
was
sounds a lot like an Indiana Jones with a lot more like
Supernatural. stuff.
supernatural,
Yeah, I'd agree. But
even more than normal Indiana
Thanks,
Jones.
Brian Foreman. He's
Yeah.
leaving me voicemails. But that sounds really fun, Madison.
Yeah,
It
that
was.
sounds like
Was
a
it
great
scary
dream.
though? Were you scared at the time?
Did you have
No.
a hat, a satchel, and a whip?
nope, unfortunately
Ah.
not. I was dressed in my, I think like a purple shirt.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I was like 7, so.
So you were like Illinois Jane.
Yeah.
Is the much less exciting version of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Cleveland Jane.
I mean, I'm going to be honest though. I'm surprised we made it that far. Like, made it all the way into the temple.
Did you remember all the booby traps and stuff too? Like dreaming all of that?
I think
or
there
did
was
you just
a
wake
The
rope-
up?
penitent man shall pass.
No, there was a rope bridge at one point
Okay.
that I had to cross. And
Yeah.
then I think some like arrow
Sure.
darts.
Ooh.
And then
Makes
the
sense.
fact that we didn't have any lights and had to like navigate all
Oh,
the
yeah.
things in the dark.
I would be so dead.
Yeah, I was.
Honestly,
be
if
such
there
an
were
adventure.
arrows at any point,
Yeah.
I would be dead.
Yeah.
done for.
And then
Because that sounds fun.
I do have well, maybe Nathan should tell his dream, but then I want to know, like, have you guys ever had any lucid dreams? As in, like, can you control your dream self?
Oh
No.
no.
No?
I kind of did once, and I got so excited I woke up because I was like, I can fly. Oh, and I was like, no. So, no.
Okay.
Have you?
Yeah.
The closest I've been
Super
is
fun.
at one point in a dream I was like, I am dreaming right now, and just knew.
Yeah.
But didn't change anything. In the
You
dream.
didn't. Yeah.
I didn't take
Okay.
advantage of the fact that I was aware I was dreaming.
You just went to school.
Guys, I had.
Forgot my pants again.
That doesn't only happen in Josh's dreams, though.
True.
What were you saying, Madison?
Oh, I had an entire lucid dream where I just watched the X-Men movies, and you know that character with the angel wings on his back?
Yeah.
I was that guy, but
Ooh.
a girl version, and I just like kicked butt the entire dream. It was
Nice.
great. I flew all over. I had a mace
Ooh.
that I swung around. It was it was a great time.
You're gonna say I had mace that I sprayed
Oh.
around.
Is a mace like a stick with a chain and a spiky ball, or just a spiky ball on the end of a stick?
I thought it was just a spiky ball on the end of the stick.
Okay.
That's what I lean towards.
What's
too.
the difference with the chain one?
Well, because then it's
don't
like
know.
the chain one, you can like swing
Right.
it,
Swing it.
right?
Is there a different name for that?
I don't know.
I feel like there should be.
Wait. I think that's a flail,
Oh,
right?
That sounds right.
Okay. I
Yep.
just remember always being confused between the two. But I think a mace. Okay. Anyways,
I'll roll with that.
Austin, have you had a lucid dream? Your
No.
eyes kind of lit up.
I don't think so. No. I
Okay.
think similar to you, like this is a dream. I woke up.
Gotcha.
Bummer.
What would you do if you found out you were lucid dreaming? Like, what's the first thing you would try?
Ooh.
And I've heard that a way to do that is look in a mirror. And if you can't see yourself, it's a dream. Or look at writing, and if you can't read it, it's a dream. I'm serious.
that's super
weird.
I'm
weird.
serious. I've heard that that's true.
It is. It makes sense. Those parts of your brain are shut off.
Or it means you're in a video game and they were too lazy to render the reflection.
Exactly.
Because
Or
it's hard
the
to do.
Matrix. You're in the
That is so
Matrix.
Or the
True.
Matrix.
That's true.
See, that's one of my biggest fears. Not,
Is that what
not
it's
like
like?
not like fully real fear, but like what if this is all a dream?
Then
Like-
make the most of this dream, Austin.
Exactly.
My life doesn't change.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, well, what if a chunk of a day was a dream and you didn't realize that, and even you didn't realize afterwards, and you thought it was real, but no one else knew about that, or things like that.
Gotcha. Huh. Well, just chalk it up to being forgetful and hope nobody holds it
Exactly.
against you. I don't have nightmares ever.
Oh,
I can
really?
never
You
remember
never had a
having had
nightmare?
one.
Wow.
Wow.
In the classical sense of a nightmare, where there's like some monster chasing me or something. I have instead dreams where I'm put in a real world scenario, because my dreams are never supernatural. They're always like a realistic thing that could happen.
Wow.
But the nightmare ones are when the situation is really uncomfortable and unpleasant.
Are you gonna
and
tell the
I have a
Barney?
couple. I mean,
Can you
should I tell
the
them
Bar-
both?
I want to tell the Barney story.
Okay, well, here's one. Jess Marusak, when I told her about this, she laughed till she cried. So this was terrible, though. I really did not like this dream, and this was one of my nightmares. I had a dream that I was at the church. I was in the back over by the, like that glass room for babies to go into to be quiet
Yeah.
or to be loud, whatever. The cry room is what it's called. And it was like a Tuesday afternoon or something. And there were a bunch of homeless people there, just sitting in the pews. It must have been some kind of outreach type deal. And for some reason, Barney was there. Or a guy in a Barney suit, obviously, but he was feeding them all mac and cheese and Brussels sprouts. Like
hand
spoon feeding them. Like he had a Tupperware that he was like spooning it into their mouths, and he was like talking to them in the Barney voice, like, there you go. Like, I don't know how Barney's voice sounds, but he was doing it. And it was just, I was sitting there kind of in the same section. But they were just not acknowledging me, and I was like, I shouldn't be here. Like, this is something I'm not supposed to bear witness to, and I have no, like, I shouldn't be seeing this right now. And it was so awkward, and it lasted like 20 minutes, and I was just like, I woke up like sweating, because I was just like, that was my nightmare. But the weird dream I had that sparked this whole idea of talking about this was, I had a dream about Josh.
Ooh.
Josh, did I tell you this dream?
I don't know if you have.
I think I teased it and I was like, we'll talk about it on the
Yeah,
podcast.
I
And then we
think
didn't
that's
talk about it for like a couple months. But here's the dream, Josh,
Okay.
that we've been hyping up. So I had a dream we were at a summer camp. This was shortly after you and I were at summer
Okay.
camp, but we were campers instead of counselors.
Nice.
And there was this girl that you really liked,
Of course.
but you had been trying to talk her up the whole weekend and it wasn't working, and you had made a reference to a really obscure movie, and she did not take it well, because she was like, what are you talking about? Nobody's seen that movie. And so then you came to me and you were like, Nathan, listen, I need you to start referencing this one really obscure movie as much as possible, so she would think that other people have seen that movie. So then, whenever we were all together in a circle of friends, I would start referencing this, like saying these really bizarre quotes that you had told me to say because I hadn't seen the movie, just to try to get her to like you. And I can't remember if it worked or not. But it was like this weird, like repeated different scenarios or conversations
so
where I'm trying to
weird.
sneak these weird references in. And I was really uncomfortable the whole time. time. It's like, Josh, this better be worth it. So there you go. That was my weird dream I had about you, Josh.
Sounds fun.
So I'm really starting to realize that your fear is being in awkward social situations. Is that true?
Yeah, and the worst part is it happens all the time. It's like actual nightmares could never happen or come true, and mine do constantly. But like, to be fair, they're like so far. I mean, I guess the Josh one could happen.
yeah.
I
was gonna say we could make that happen.
but the Barney one would never happen.
Well,
I mean,
we could make
I mean,
it
that's the
happen.
worst part is it could. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I don't know why I've never had a supernatural dream. You know, like just nothing, everything that happens. Like I have so many dreams where I'm just go to work. But the weirdest thing is, same as you. As soon as if I don't talk about it, it melts away immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But I will oftentimes wake up from a dream, write it down on my phone, and fall back asleep and not remember doing that at all. So I'll wake up to a sticky note on my phone that has a
that's weird.
bizarre thing written in it, and I'm like, "What the crap is this?" It's all that Barney one was one I found on a sticky note.
Seriously?
I just read it back and I was like, "What in the world?" So, but I had written it in. I should find that note because
Yeah.
I think it was on my iPhone, so I lost it because it was in the notes app.
Oh.
But it was, yeah, it was in such vivid detail that I kind of brought it back a little bit. But I had written like a giant paragraph about it. So.
Sometimes you do wake up too in the middle of the night and you're just like, that was the worst dream. And then you're just gone. And I was like,
Really?
oh, really?
Well, the other
Yeah.
night you woke up and you were like, you said, "What is this?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" Because I had turned the AC pump like it just run and woke you up halfway. And then you started reaching up in the air and you were like, "What is that?" And I was like, "There's nothing there." And you sat up and you were going, "What is this?" And you were reaching around and I was like, "There's nothing there." And then you just went like straight
I
back
have to be
down.
the worst
and you were
person
gone.
that's
to
awesome.
share a room with, for
Yeah.
real.
But you're really honest when you're sleeping. I'll be like, "Madison, are you dreaming?" And you'll be like, or are you sleeping? You'll be like, "Yes." Like, or you'll say something and I'll be like, "Madison, are you lying to me?" And she'll be like, "Yes." So at least you tell me the truth when I ask you about it if you're
Solid.
actually asleep. So, but we're running. Okay, we got about 10 minutes,
Okay.
a little more.
Okay.
Let's talk about
So-
science.
about dreams.
Dreams.
Science.
Okay, so why do you guys think that we dream?
Because
Okay.
your brain still works.
Here's the theory that I think I've heard.
Okay.
Your eyeballs are fluttering really fast.
Wait, I told you about this.
No,
last
I knew
week.
about this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think that when you fall asleep and your eyeballs start moving, it makes your brain think you see stuff, which then you see stuff.
Yeah, it has
Is
to
that-
account for something.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, what is all this stuff coming from my eyes? I think just the fact that they're shaking creates impulses along that nerve.
Yeah.
Am I onto something? Is that right?
Kind of. Kind of. Yeah, it's like part of it. I'm sorry. There's
Okay.
no simple
Makes sense.
neurology.
That there's no simple, straightforward answer
Yeah.
to this. Not simple, straightforward thing.
No. Yes.
Sure.
Austin, do you have any thoughts?
I don't really. I
Okay.
always assumed it had something to do with something you previously done,
That
mixed together with other things, and then added a sense of not reality.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we actually don't know why we dream. But I want
Let's
to
wrap it up,
present
folks.
to you. I want to present to you the two most probable theories, and
Okay.
then one really old one.
I'm excited.
So it started with really. We've been thinking about why we dream for forever, right?
Sure.
But one of the most prominent modern models is the psychoanalytical model, and it kind of developed in the early 1900s. And this is when Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. Have you guys ever heard of Freud?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, oh yeah, Freud began to like analyze dreams to try to get to the bottom of mental illness. And basically what they believed was that during your waking hours, you repress emotions and thoughts, and then they come out in your dreams as your subconscious, and then it's the like psychologist's job to try to interpret those dreams. And that's how you got a whole bunch of weird like Freudian psychology with weird interpretations and stuff like that.
So they thought that everything meant something.
They thought that everything meant something.
Okay.
Yes. And that it represented like hidden thoughts or emotions that then you had to go and fix in order to get rid of these weird dreams or like uncomfortable feelings.
Okay. I mean, I guess I could see why they thought that, because it's like your brain came up with it.
Yeah, right?
Right.
And then basically, more recently, we have now a purely neurological model is what I'm calling it. And
The PNM.
yeah, that's not the official name, but that's what
It
like,
is now.
It is now. Okay. But this is from an article called Do Dreams Really Mean Anything? Some Neurologists Think Dreams Don't Mean a Thing by David B. Feldman, PhD. One of the main reasons we sleep may be to allow the brain to consolidate and organize our memories. Much like computers must periodically optimize their hard disks, our brains must continuously consolidate the memories we have stored. You can think of it as a kind of neurological house cleaning, sweeping away the unnecessary experiences from the previous day and storing the important ones more securely. Although not all researchers agree, many think that dreams may be unintended consequences of these and other underlying neurological processes. Harvard psychiatrists Hobson and McCarley, for instance, proposed that as various brain circuits become active during the night, this triggers sensations, emotions, and memories, all of which are essentially random. Given that we're meaning-making creatures, however, our brains assemble all of this underlying activity into a story. But this story doesn't actually mean anything. It's simply an attempt to make sense of neural activity that has taken place. This is why dreams seem so illogical and strange.
Huh. But how come most of my dreams are logical and they're just everyday things?
I think it's like
'Cause
what
your
they
life
were
isn't
saying.
logical.
Is it because I'm super boring? Oh, I see. It's a flip.
I think that was like part of like your brain is trying to figure out what's important and what's not about your experiences.
So basically what I'm hearing is that it's like a defragmentation going wrong every night.
Yes.
And you're left with a bunch of unallocated memory
But
that's
it
just
really,
garbage.
it really makes me like curious. This model like doesn't really explain the Barney dream.
No.
I mean, that is really weird, though.
But why Barney and why hobos?
Two of my greatest fears. I don't know. That's a great
Okay.
question.
And the next theory is neurocognitive model, which I think is kind of where I lean. Tor Nielsen and Ross Levin have proposed a theory midway between Freud's almost magical symbol-based system of dream analysis and the view that dreams are simply random. Their perspective, the neurocognitive model of dreaming, is complicated and impossible to completely explain here.
Makes sense.
Although this story still states that dreams are closely tied to neurological memory consolidation processes, that doesn't mean they're random. Instead, they believe the stories our brains weave from seemingly random dream images are guided, at least in part, by our emotional states. Which makes me interested in what your emotional state was when you were dreaming about Barney.
Not wanting to be in an awkward scenario.
Must be it.
That's what it always is.
For instance, as the amount of negative experiences in our waking life rises, the probability of having bad dreams also rise. This may be why people who have experienced trauma are more susceptible to nightmares than others. According to this theory, an important function of dreams is what the researchers term, quote, fear extinction. That is, dreams help us process our stressful experiences in a healthy way, putting them to rest so we're not overwhelmed with negative feelings during our waking lives.
Interesting.
When the process is working properly, dreams use the stresses and waking concerns of our lives as source material, taking them apart and reassembling them into odd but generally harmless stories, a procedure which ultimately allows us to move past them.
So
That
we're
sounds like
just
something
helping Nathan get past hobos and Barney.
I don't know.
Why do we keep coming back to me?
Did Barney traumatize you as a child?
No, I loved Barney.
You love Barney?
you?
What about hobos? Do hobos traumatize you?
No, I always feel like I should,
No.
like, sometimes I will buy an extra loaf of bread at Walmart and then give it to the hobo, like
Okay.
PB&J materials. But I am kind of scared of them, especially after the Portland honeymoon we went on when we went down to that Voodoo Donuts and there were just hobos everywhere. That was real scary. Didn't like that, but
Was the
No.
hobos everywhere dream after that?
no, it was not. It was before we were married. So
Darn it.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to draw a connection.
I don't know. I can't think of any like super negative hobo experience I've had. Maybe hobo spider. I'm not sure. But I don't know.
Wow.
Madison, I don't know what to tell you about my dream.
I don't
But
know.
that is interesting though. That it's. I mean, it makes sense that it's so hard to figure out why we dream because it's just randomness that happens and we aren't sure about it. Please excuse my dog. She's
Yeah.
just chilling, chewing on her leg in the middle of the podcast. But yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So essentially, what we learned is they don't know.
They don't know, but they think.
But there's
I think
theories.
like so based on my neuroscience study, the brain is like always doing something, and we never understand really fully what it's doing because there are actually different like networks, which are just like connections of brain areas that are always fluctuating, and they fluctuate in relation to each other. So when one is really active, the other is quiet. And when the other one becomes active, the other one gets quiet, if that makes sense.
Quick question then. Is it true that we only use 10% of our brain? Because people
No.
say that all the time,
No.
and I'm like, I can't.
No, your brain is like, it's always working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who started that?
I don't know. I think somebody who wanted to feel like they had limitless potential.
Because that's shout out to the movie Limitless.
Yep.
Pretty good movie, other than when he like drinks
Haven't
some
seen
blood.
Yeah. It's weird. That one. That
Worth
seems
watching, probably. Honest.
All right.
It sounds weird.
Yeah, especially with the drinking blood thing.
You'll understand when you watch it.
Okay.
Weird. Yeah. We don't want to spoil it.
Movie night. Speaking of
Yeah.
which, we got to do our movie podcast at some point.
Yep.
But okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
How
So-
are we doing on time, real quick, before we move
Yeah.
on?
We got like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Talk about.
Right.
I have no clue.
Well,
Cool. All right.
We're losing all of it.
are you guys interested at all in the neurology of dreaming?
Hit me.
Do it.
Josh was yawning during the last
Josh-
paragraph you read,
You can.
Yeah.
so we're gonna put him
you
to bed
can
right
zone
now.
out.
I like yes.
Okay.
Maybe I'll
Just-
have a dream about.
If you could like
this.
summarize that big old paragraph.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I will read you this quick quote because I
Okay.
think it's interesting. All around the world, dreams are dominated by personal concerns. More than 70% of dreams are personal, typically dramatized enactments of significant personal concerns about the past, present, or future. The frequency of a given topic reflects the intensity of that concern in the dreamer's life. So, somewhat random fact that I found really interesting, that it's usually self-referential. Basically, what happens when you dream is you have two networks that are always in flux and competing against each other, no matter what you're doing throughout the day. One of them is called the Central Executive Network, and it's the one that's kind of aware of your outside stimuli. So like your sight, your sound, what you're receiving, touch, everything like that. The other one is called the Default Mode Network, which is what you'd kind of consider like yourself. It's like the network that's responsible for self-referential thoughts, like memories, everything that kind of ignores external stimuli and is like you thinking almost.
Your inner being.
Almost, yeah, kind of like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
We have a bean.
It's a garbanzo. I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Continue. I'm being rude.
So what happens, this information is from an article called New Neurocognitive Theory of Dreaming Links Dreams to Mind Wandering. So basically what happens when you dream is like, it's almost like daydreaming when your brain just starts to wander and then it just goes a step farther.
Okay.
So basically what happens, those two networks, the Central Executive Network kind of gets dampened down as your default mode network, your self network gets ramped up.
Okay.
So,
So your brain just kind of goes where it might go if you let it. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
we just consciously keep it in check during the day.
yeah, because the Central Executive Network and all the stimuli are like grabbing your attention. So those two are always kind of in flux. Because if you notice, like you very rarely have a sight or a sound when it grabs your attention that you aren't then thinking about, right?
Sure.
True.
Yeah.
So the Central Executive Network is when you receive that sight and sound, and then your default mode network pops on, and you like process it and you think about it.
Okay. So since
So-
we're constantly receiving stimuli, our brains aren't allowed to daydream.
Yeah,
Usually?
basically, and like something is always usually grabbing your attention, right?
Okay. Like
But-
I'm hungry even.
Yeah,
Even if
and
it's
then
not like
you'll snap to default mode network, and you'll be like, okay, what am I going to eat? And then as you're walking to the fridge, you're like, okay, now I need to open the fridge, touch the fridge, another stimulus, you know,
sure.
kind of. It's just a constant interaction between those two.
Okay.
And then when you start to dream, the default mode network just becomes more and more and more prominent until the attentional networks go down and the vigilance salience network.
that sounds
is-
like a security system.
It is.
Seriously.
It's your like red alert system. That
Oh,
one is
yeah.
always on.
Let's start a
Yeah.
security company.
I would
Yeah.
do this.
Vigilance Salience Incorporated.
That's a good idea. I would do that.
Let's do this.
We know nothing about security.
No.
Someone's gonna steal our idea.
But the attention network
Do it.
goes down, but that one actually stays okay, and that's why you can like if you hear a loud bang, that's why you wake up.
Okay.
Because that one's always going.
Oh.
Ah.
So
And-
that one. Okay, so it just constantly stays.
That one, yeah.
in-
So parts are constantly on, including that one. But then finally, your sensory, most of your sensory network is just gone, and then your imagery network actually becomes stronger as your mind starts to wander.
Whoa.
So that part of your brain just boots up, and that is when, you begin to dream. Isn't that weird?
Very weird.
So if I
That's
understand
pretty
it
cool.
correctly, then there's no real difference as far as your brain is concerned between seeing something and your brain imagining you saw something. Like if it's
there's like a specific. Remember that weird word that I mentioned earlier?
yeah. No, but yeah.
The
I don't remember the word, but
word
yeah, I know
either,
what you're
'cause
talking
it's
about.
super hard. But that happens when that part of your brain that's responsible for differentiating between dream and reality doesn't work,
Okay.
and you get confusion between dream and reality. So there's the network that realizes, hey, this imagery that I am quote unquote seeing is created by self or external stimuli.
Ah.
So your brain can process it. There's a part of your brain that does that. But if you were just looking, this area, by the way, is at the back of your brain, the image stuff. If you're just looking at the back of your brain, then no, there doesn't seem to be a significant difference
Okay.
Interesting.
Cool.
in activity.
Well, there you go.
I think that's all the time we
Yeah.
have, but thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
good
That's
research.
super cool.
Yep.
That I did not have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now our viewers
Helpful.
don't either, folks.
If our viewers have any fun dreams you want to share with us, comment.
That's
below.
true.
Yeah.
Tweet us your dreams.
Yeah. Or
Do we have a Twitter account?
We do.
Oh, I didn't even know this.
I'm
This
the
is great.
only follower.
I didn't know that either.
Public Access Inc.
Okay.
Even though we're not incorporated, I just couldn't fit Productions into the Twitter handle, and Public Access was already taken, so I punted. That's maybe why we don't have any. It's actually on our Facebook banner page.
oh, nice.
Oh, that's right.
The @ is,
Well, if
but it's
you
not a link. So
Any of you have a Twitter and feel like following a really stupid public access page,
hashtag tweet your dreams.
hashtag tweet your dream.
There we
Hey,
go.
we started a
We could
hashtag.
start a trend.
Does anybody
This'll-
tweet still?
Nathan does.
I do. I
Awesome.
do.
Austin, do you tweet?
I have never tweeted except for stuff for work for organizations. Like
cool.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't tweet either.
Well, follow us on Instagram where we're a
Yes.
little more active, but not much.
Or
Or Facebook.
where we're quite a bit more.
Yeah, 'cause
Moderately
we-
active.
Weekly,
We actually
one
share-
could even say.
Yeah.
I'll respond to your comments. I'm on there.
Yeah, me too.
Austin's on there. We're liking stuff.
I'll read the comment.
Yeah. We will print them out and read them on the show if they're terrible
But
enough.
somebody will tell me about it, I'm sure.
If you want to find us somewhere else, you can find us on Apple Podcasts or Google Play Music, also possibly Spotify, and definitely on our website, jeffandjosh.net. You can check out our episodes one day early. They will come on Sunday mornings instead of Monday mornings. And then if you want to buy a shirt, support the show, you can click on that little shopping cart icon or go to store.jeffandjosh.net or I think publicaccess.productions.
Yeah.
We have that domain now. So you can go to any of those addresses.
great.
I'm trying to make it really easy for people to buy shirts here.
Buy a shirt.
But anyways, if you want to put us under your body, you can do that.
Or don't.
Specifically me and Jeff.
Please
But
don't.
yeah, anyways, thanks for joining us. And we will be here next time, hopefully not dreaming about Barney. So there we go. Thanks for doing all that research.
Yeah,
Nancy.
thank you.
Yeah,
Big time.
actually,
Really
a lot of
appreciate
it was from neuroscience and mental illness.
Like a class you took?
That's super cool.
Look at that. The cold college education.
Oh,